It was my first time seeing my dad after a couple of years. My parents got separated since I was little. My mom stayed in Arizona while my dad stayed in Fort Washington, the rainiest city in the state. The weather in Arizona here was totally different from where I grew up. This was like wet and cold. I needed to put lip balm every day, always, every time. The last couple of years, I never came back to the city. I prefer stayed in Arizona with my friends. If it wasn't because my mom needed more space and with her new family, I wouldn't be here for sure. In one time, we go into Dad's house in Forks. We didn't talk too much during the ride. I enjoyed the view instead. Cliff, the sound of the wave, green tall trees seemed fine. I enjoyed the view. And there was no neighbor before him. It was so him, just so alone. I followed him upstairs to the room. We opened the door and there was my room. A single bed with a floral, a mirror, cupboard, closet, chair. I needed nothing more. Have rest, Bella. I'm coming for dinner. He closed the door and I said thank you, Dad. I just closed my eyes to fall asleep. Bella, dinner time. His calling woke me up. It was a nap, a good one, a very good one. There was no distraction at all, like mom screaming, knocking door, just silent to be quiet. I could even hear the wind whispered. I went to the kitchen and saw him in a prawn without realizing I smelled. Dad, you look right in it. I could see how hard he was trying to welcoming me. He makes some mashed potato, broccoli, bacon, eggs, and just don't forget to put orange juice in the gray plate. Dad, sorry, I didn't help you with the dinner. I fell asleep. It's okay. You can have the dishes. I usually hate the dishes, but this time he got into me. We finished the dinner with sharing no other words. He grabbed a beer and sat in this couch, just sat and drank it. I went back to my room unpacking my stuff. And the next morning, the alarm rang at 6 a.m. I got myself ready. I needed 10 minutes only before I went off the room. We walked out this house and I suddenly saw Uncle Black and Jacob. I remembered Uncle Black as Dad's friends. He often mentioned him as Dad's friends. He was Indian and he was the eldest tribe in his fork. Hello, Bella. Glad to see you. Charlie was talking about you. Hi, Uncle Black. You look so healthy. And then Jacob hi, Bella. Long time to see you. Wow, Jacob, it's been a year since we met. I met Uncle Black 10 years ago when I was little, at 7 years old. I used to play with his son Jacob, doing many other stuff, a fun thing made a mud bath and then climb the trees. They brought the truck that asked for me. After 10 minutes catching up, that called me. He took up next to a small truck. It wasn't bad, it seemed cool. You can have this, Bella, while throwing the key. Wait, what is that? Isn't that too much? It's okay, you'll need this. Thanks, Dad, I love this. Bye, Uncle Black. See you around. I started to enter the truck. I stopped the engine and said goodbye to the 3 men over there. I still remembered a little of the city, and it wasn't bad to find a school. The kids here were nice. They were friendly. I had lunch together with Lisa, David, Maya, and Justin. They made fun of everything and made me laugh. Across our table, I saw a guy who helped me with the fan soon. Then I checked his cellular staring at me. Didn't bother him. Maya said with me, "Who is he?" I asked Maya. "They are the Collins. The one who studied you is Edward." Dr. Collin was a doctor. His family go here and moved here about 5 years ago. I think their parents didn't look like us, like normal people. We're so confident, brave, but mysterious. I had no problem with the school. Either teachers and kids are fine in here. Until something bothered me. It happened when I first joined the biology class. The moment I stopped in, the teacher introduced me into anyone. I looked around and I saw Edward, one of the Clans, staring at me. He covered his nose and mouth like, "You throwing away?" And he won't stop staring at me. I felt bad because I met him that way. And the worst thing was I was the only available seat was next to him. We didn't talk at all when we met with eye contact. He's staring at me often, on a good term. It wasn't enough for him. I accidentally heard him asking for a substitute class, but that's really pissed me off. No substitute class at all. For almost 2 weeks, I hadn't seen him in the canteen, parking, everything in the school. I did meet the Collins family, but not with him. And one morning, he finally showed up in the biology class. He looked totally different. People like, what different? And I said, you show up? I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself before. Bella, right? I'm Edward. You're gone. Yeah, must go out for town for a personal issue. We had some chit-chat conversation and the partner of the biology task done that day, thanks to the talk. When I started to think Edward was normal people, something better happened. It was happened when I was standing in front of my truck, enjoying fuel. I listened to the headphones music, and then suddenly Edward pulling me away. There was a coming force door. The driver looked panicked and couldn't stop the car. Edward then held it with his left hand and his right hand still on me. I was shocked before I understand what just happened when he was gone. People coming asking if I was injured, but it's okay, I'm fine. I couldn't believe in my eyes how could he stop just holding the car with just one hand. I was sure he stopped it, but he said the car just stopped because without his force. And then someday I said like, hey, about what happened yesterday. What happened? About how you stopped the car and saved me? Listen, Bella, I didn't stop the car. It just happened right time. But your handprint, I found them. If you were to really want to thank me, just forget about it, okay? You got my line. He looked so different about it. I cannot tell what it was. He looked away after I thanked him. After school, Lisa asked me to join them. I would join them, but would rather to stay in the truck than touch the water. The boys jumped in the water. Meanwhile, we the girls just watched them. We had fun. They was nice kids, friendly. Then I recognized a silhouette far away. It was Jacob. He and his Indian friends passing by. They wanted to go to the jungle and to do something fun. I introduced him to Lisa and the other. Not long after that, a sudden passing. Unfortunately, there are the Klan inside them. The Clans, the Edward was staring at the Jacob and his friends. Bella, you must stay away from them. Jacob warned me. But why? I asked him. Just stay away if you don't want it not to be worried. And he replied. Just then said, Jacob's right, Bella. Don't mess with them. A month had passed by. Nothing much happened except I didn't listen to what they said. For some reason, Edward and I bumped each other often. We got closer somehow. I realized he was different when we met first time. He never ate, he hated light. And once I accidentally touched his hand. It was so cold. I googled this and in my mind there was one thing, a vampire. I don't know, I didn't feel any scare about it. Deep inside I was sure that Edward was harmful, so that evening I decided to tell him that I know something about him. Oh well, I know that you're different. Yeah, he laughed. You're a vampire? I continued with a what? He stopped laughing and looked me in the eye. And you're okay with it? You know what a vampire food, right? So what, Edward? We can't be friends just because you're a vampire. I believed in you. You saved my life. And that's how I have this secret. I experienced amazing things. Flying to the highest tree, climb tree. He took me place in 1 minute where normal people needed 1 hour ride. The more I got to know him, I realize and think how hard it was for him to live among the normal and other people. But one thing for sure, out of the fact he was a vampire, he was made me feel secure and safe. This novel was adapted by the Twilight novel, made by Stephen Meyer in 2005. And we have a moral. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge people by its looks. Someone who others thinks dangerous can be our savior. And it's okay to be friends with someone who looks like to be alone. Because everybody needs each other and have to care.